Well, guys, just when I think I'm done and I'm getting done cutting a video, earlier today we published a video on the Diesel Truck Liberation Act and the fact that, Votorama was going on. Well, miraculously, the Republicans have been able to get a budget reconciliation bill through the Senate with a vote of 50 to 48. I'm going to talk about what all of that means right after this. Hey guys, just a quick word from the video sponsors today, Delete Me. Here's something I didn't realize until recently. There are entire people search websites that list your name, phone number, address history, even your relatives, right? Anyone can access it. All it takes is a credit card. That kind of info floating around makes it way easier for scams, phishing, and other sketchy stuff to happen. And I'm not talking about somebody calling and asking you about your extended warranty. That's why I use Delete Me. They remove your personal info from hundreds of those data brokers and people search sites. And it's not a one and done thing. You can see how many sites had my info listed before Delete Me stepped in. You have it up here on the screen. Here's my report. You can see how many sites had the info. If you want to clean up what's out there on you, go to joindeleteme.com/TK Garage and use code TK Garage at checkout for 20% off. You can also use the QR code on screen to scan it with your phone. And link also, as always, in the description in the pinned comment. And thanks to Delete Me for sponsoring today's video. Major shout out to our sponsors, Delete Me, for sponsoring today's video. So, yeah, man, it passed. They got budget reconciliation through. Now, Senator Kennedy was very clear. They were going to put other things into the budget reconciliation if the Democrats decided they didn't want to play ball and just vote on funding the Department of Homeland Security, right? So the Republicans used appropriate Senate procedural moves to get this to happen. What does that mean? Budget reconciliation. So they did this the first time. That's how they got the big, beautiful bill through. And they're doing it this time to get DHS funded, Diesel Truck Liberation Act, SAFE Act, and other legislation that they want to get through budget reconciliation, which means simple majority. You don't need a super majority. You don't need 60 votes. You just need 50, and that's it. So Republicans get it done. All right. It's now over in the House, and now the House is a different story. Yes, the Democrats have lost a couple of members of Congress due to scandal where they've had to step down. Swalwell and I forget the Haitian female from Florida. But the Republicans also lost a congressman from Texas. So I don't know how that's going to play out in terms of what the majority is for the amount of votes. We already knew that the margin is already razor thin in the House as it is. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. Now, two things. As soon as this thing was passed through the Senate, I was on the Senate's website trying to read everything that's in the budget reconciliation bill. At the time of me recording this, it's not up because I wanted to be able to read through what all these provisions are and what it means, including stuff when it comes to emissions and diesel trucks and all that good stuff. But it's not currently up. It probably won't be up till Monday, because I'm guessing at the time you guys are seeing this, it's late at night on Thursday going into Friday. It could be up at some point tomorrow. And if it is at some point tomorrow on Friday, I will pull it. We'll do a separate video and we'll talk about it. But what I find interesting here is we actually have a chance to get this done with actual legislation, which means the Democrats can scream, cry, bitch, moan, file all the fucking lawsuits they want. It doesn't matter, because once that legislation becomes law, the president signs it, the Clean Air Act would no longer apply to gasoline cars, diesel trucks, planes, boats, basically anything with mobile sources of emissions, which I think is common sense. We're the most, outside of the retards in Europe, we are the most regressive country in terms of limiting what our citizens can do to get around and be productive. If we just unleashed our economy, if we just unleashed our citizens and let them drive their trucks, drive their cars, the amount of productivity in this country and the GDP would go through the fucking roof. But unfortunately, we have retards that have idealistic ideas that don't make any sense. And as long as you have that in a position of power, nothing changes. Luckily, outside of what's been going on here recently, and I understand people are not happy about what's going on with Iran and prices of fuel and all the rest of that, we've been getting a lot of progress in terms of car culture, in terms of emissions, in terms of they've attacked it from every single way possible, by removing the endangerment finding, by passing congressional review acts, making it more difficult for states to try to just say, oh, we're just going to do whatever we want. No, you're not. Federal supremacy. No, you're not. If the federal government wants to let you do it, they can. Marijuana is a prime example. All of these states that made marijuana legal to sell and have and all that, it was still a Schedule I substance up until this morning. The president made it a Schedule III substance today. That's a different thing, right? But there's a reason why banks couldn't deal with dispensaries and everything else, is because it was still illegal to the feds. The feds were just letting the states do it. If the feds decided tomorrow, it's over. The entire marijuana industry is gone if they wanted to. So it's the same thing when it comes to this emissions BS. This gets through. This is worded exactly how it's supposed to be worded, or how we saw it written previously in this bill, and it goes through. We're looking at no more smog checks in all 50 states. We're looking at, I want you to think about this. The price of these checks and these fees for American citizens is different in every state, right? But who does it impact the most? Not the rich person that buys a brand new fucking car every year. Their car is going to pass smog no matter what. It affects, Tom, Dick, Harry, Sally, and Mary or whatever that are going to go work at the gas station, and they have to drive 18 miles in traffic because they live way out in the boonies or in the hood, and they got to drive into the rich areas just to work at a shit gas station to be able to pay their bills because they can't afford to live there anyway. That's who it affects. That's what these smog check fees and all the rest of this shit affects. And them getting rid of this with this legislation, instantly, it's not a ton. In some states, it's like $50, $100. In other states, it could be $500, $600 that goes back into your pocket. So I'm excited that this last minute thing has gone through and this thing is passed. Now it depends on what the House is going to do. Do I think they're going to get it done tomorrow? No. I think we're going to be looking at this. They're going to probably debate it Friday and Saturday. Maybe we get a vote Monday. Maybe. And we're going to go over everything that's in it. So stay tuned for that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Give the video a big thumbs up if you like what I do. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And as always, stay petty, my friends.